What's going on, guys? We are back with yet another deck profile 2 days in a row. Let's go. This time was actually with Joey's skill, Pal-O'Mine-zation. And I have a feeling that this has the potential to maybe be better than Blue Eyes in terms of just getting a stronger monster out on the board than a Blue Eyes, but we'll talk about that here in a sec. So, without further ado, we have our skill. We got Pal-O'Mine-zation. For those of you that don't know what that does, during your turn you can reveal one normal monster in your hand. This turn, that monster can substitute for any one fusion material. If you do, that other fusion material must be the correct one. The skill can only be used once per duel. We're going to use this skill to make the second most powerful, I guess third most powerful fusion right now in the game. And you can do it really quickly with this skill. So, let's go and put that off to the side. Let's go and take a look at what cards we got. So, one Red Eyes Black Dragon. Super simple, nothing too crazy. We got one Meteor Dragon. These two are going to pair up really nicely in order to get that Red Eyes Black Meteor Dragon out. So, we got those two. We got one Baby Dragon. A lot of one-ofs in this. One Alligator Sword. Gonna rock a couple Copycats. This card's great if you go second. For instance, if you do go up against the Blue Eyes deck, and they happen to get the Lord of D, Fluid Summoning Dragon combo, they get both Blue Eyes on board, you can play a Copycat. Instantly, you got a 3,000 beater on the board to match their Blue Eyes, which is great if you just want to kamikaze into them, or you want to take out the Lord of D so that their dragons are susceptible, stuff like that. Or if they have any huge fusion on the board, you can copy its stats, and swing it into it if you want to, or just have another big body on the board. So, we got two Copycats. Rocking two Time Wizards. This is going to work well with our fusions to get 1,000 dragon out. Also, it's a risky board wipe, but it's still a board wipe. So we're going to rock two of those rather than just one for the fusion. And speaking of fusion, we're going to rock two Polymerization, because odds are we're probably going to have more than one fusion summon with this deck. So two Polymerization. And one Fusion Gate for our field spell. For those of you that might not know what it is, it's the ultra rare for Joey in the starter decks. And while it's on the field, the turn player can fusion summon one fusion monster from their extra deck by banishing fusion monsters from their hand or field, so you don't need that Polymerization. The only drawback is that your opponent can use it too, so it's kind of a trade-off, but I mean, it works in our favor, and not too many decks are going to be running fusion anyway. So, one Fusion Gate. This deck, we're actually using a decent amount of card draw. So I have two Shard Greeds. You can use three if you want to. That's not a big deal. We're also going to be using one Common Charity that's from the recent set as a common, hence Common Charity. So Shard Greed, you have to wait a couple turns, but it's basically acts as a Pot of Greed, which is fantastic. Common Charity, you can draw two cards and banish a normal monster from your hand. If you don't have a normal monster, you have to banish your entire hand. Or no, you have to send your entire hand to the graveyard. Because we want to get those polymerizations and we want to get the fusion materials that we need to activate Pal-O'Mine-zation or to even get our polymerizations in hand, we need a decent amount of card draw to make sure that we have the cards that we need. So, two Shard Greeds, Common Charity. Common Charity works great in this deck because we have a decent amount of normal monsters in the deck. So if you can figure out which one to get rid of, that's worth drawing two cards. It works out pretty well. So, protecting those normal monsters, since they don't have a lot of effects, they do need some protection. So, we're rocking two Kunai with Chain, give that extra little attack boost. It can also change the position of targets on the field, which is very nice. So, boost them up a little bit. Heck, if you want to even make your fusions even bigger, by all means, you could do that with Kunai as well. So, very useful trap card. So we're going to need to rock two Kunai chains. Very similar to the last video. Two Windstorm of Etaqua, or three if you'd like to, if you don't happen to have Sphere Kuriboh. Now, granted, if you have the Sphere Kuribohs, again, I would run three of them if you can. If not, just run 3 Windstorm of Etaqua. That's perfectly fine. It's not a huge difference. I prefer the Sphere Kuribohs over the Windstorms, but Windstorm is much more readily available than what Sphere Kuriboh is. So, changes our battle positions pretty well. And just to get an extra body on the board if we can, it's basically a monster reborn for only our red eyes. So we rockin' Red Eyes Spirit. So, target 1 red eyes in the graveyard, special summon it. Super simple, super self-centered, not self-centered, super straightforward. But if you do happen to fusion summon into a Meteor Black Dragon, you are able to get the material back to have both a Meteor Black Dragon and a Red Eyes, which is really useful. Get 2 bodies on the board that are pretty big. So, moving on to our extra deck, we're walking Alligator Sword Dragon. This is semi-nice if you're able to close out a game. You get them down to about 1,700 attack points. Life points. Wow, I can't talk. If you get them down to around 1,700, and they happen to control earth, water, or fire monsters, you can attack them directly and finish the game. Don't go into it too often, but it does come up every now and then. So we got that. We got Thousand Dragon, our fusion for Time Wizard and Baby Dragon. So you can get into this pretty quickly, which is honestly really nice. So get into that pretty quickly. 2,400 attack. It's pretty much the same as the Red Eyes, just a different monster, just fusion. Nothing crazy, but the win condition of the deck. Meteor Black Dragon, 3,500 attack, 2,000 defense. I know in the last video I misspoke. I thought that this thing had 3,000 defense. I was incorrect. But yeah, 3,500 attack. That's going to be able to get over a Blue Eyes. It's really going to be able to get over a Blue Eyes. So you shouldn't have any issues. And even if you did happen to go up against a Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon, you could play Meteor Black Dragon with the Kunai with Chain, change it to defense position, attack over it with 4,000 attack, because in defense it would have 3,800. There's some decent synergy to combat those big decks like Blue Eyes. So, and that card draw definitely helps. So, I feel like this is one of the best Meteor Black Dragon decks, or just fusion decks in general, that you could run, especially with Joey's skill Pal-O'Mine-zation. So, tell me what you think. If you have any suggestions on ways to make the deck better, or if you think there's cards in the recent set that would go along better with this other than the Common Charity, or run more Common Charities, stuff like that, just let me know. If you like what you watch, go ahead and leave a like. Also, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. I really appreciate it. We're just getting started with these deck profiles. So, as always, have a wonderful day, and love you guys.